Bred to be effective and obedient soldiers, the clone troopers were deployed across the galaxy's battlefronts under the command of Jedi generals. However, there were some Jedi that didn't exactly agree with the use of the clone troopers. From a master who saw his loyal soldiers as little more than pawns in a game of galactic chess, to a survivor who learned the hard way that loyalty can be a double-edged sword, today we're going over 5 Jedi who hated clone troopers, beginning with Rahm Kota, a Jedi whose journey was far from typical. Rahm Kota was born on a war-torn world and fought in the trenches from the age of 10. While most initiates are brought to the Jedi Temple as infants, Kota wasn't discovered until he was 18 years old, when none other than Mace Windu arrived on his unnamed home planet to negotiate an end to the fighting. Upon meeting Kota, Windu observed his Force sensitivity and brought him back to Coruscant. Despite the fact that he was well past the traditional age of acceptance for new apprentices, Kota was inducted into the Jedi Order and trained under Jedi Grandmaster Yoda himself. Kota often questioned the Jedi High Council's decisions and voiced his opinion that the Order should adopt a more forceful approach when dealing with criminals or negotiating treaties. Still, no one doubted his loyalty to both the Republic and the Jedi, or his courage, as he frequently undertook the most dangerous and hazardous of assignments. Reaching the rank of Jedi Master by the time of the Clone Wars, Kota was one of the most capable generals when the conflict broke out, thanks to his prior battlefield experience growing up. This influenced Kota's decision to not use clone troopers at any point throughout the war. He felt that the clones were not fit to be soldiers, and could not be as creative or as intelligent in the field as non-clones. Instead, Kota organized and trained his own unit of volunteers, which included members of local planetary forces, mercenary groups, and even separatist prisoners of war. Kota and his militia served with distinction, fighting as both a regular unit and a special operations force during several successful offensives in the Outer Rim. As the war waged on, Kota began to grow weary of watching his troopers and friends die, and firmly believed that the conflict would eventually see the destruction of both the Jedi and the Republic. Of course, he was correct, but his decision to not lead clones into battle ultimately saved his life. After all, the easiest way to survive Order 66 is to not have any clones nearby to attack you. Kota went on to be a vital figure in the formation of the Rebel Alliance in Star Wars Legends, appearing in video games like The Force Unleashed and Battlefront Elite Squadron. The Jedi Master was an important mentor for the likes of Starkiller and X2. As we explore the galaxy of Star Wars, staying sharp for those deep dives is crucial. Whether it's analyzing space battles or unraveling Jedi mysteries, it all starts with being well rested. That's why good sleep matters more than you might think. And something that's been a game changer for us is Manta Sleep. Their 100% blackout sleep masks provide total darkness, helping you get deeper, uninterrupted rest. It's like stepping into a world where distractions disappear, just like finding calm in the middle of a chaotic galaxy. The adjustable eye cups don't put any pressure on your eyes and are perfect for side sleepers, making it feel like the mask is custom-made just for you. And unlike other masks, it's breathable and lightweight, meaning no overheating or discomfort during the night. It's the best way to recharge and wake up refreshed, ready to tackle anything the day throws at you, whether it's exploring a galaxy far, far away or getting through a hectic workday. Plus, Manta Sleep offers a 60-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk in trying it out. Use code RED5 for 10% off your order and experience the kind of sleep even Jedi Masters would envy. If we had a nickel for every time a Jedi who disliked clone troopers was blinded by a character voiced by the legendary Sam Witwer, we would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. Caleb Dume had a typical upbringing at the Jedi Temple. Passing the Jedi trials, he became the Padawan of Jedi Master Depa Billaba, and continued to grow stronger under her tutelage. Unlike Rahm Kota, Kanan Jarrus didn't always hate the clones. In fact, he quite liked them. For instance, a trooper with the designation CC-1157 whom the Jedi befriended. When Dume was wounded in combat on Megiddo and rendered unconscious, the trooper defended him from multiple droids, to which Dume gave him the name Stance. All was well between the Jedi and the clones, that is, until the Battle of Collar, where a 14-year-old Caleb Dume fought during the Outer Rim sieges, just as the young Jedi was preparing to hit the Separatists in a counterattack alongside Clone Force 99. Order 66 was issued. Dume's master, Depa Billaba, was quickly attacked by Clone Captain Gray and his men, with Dume hearing the blaster fire and turning around. Seeing that the clones would soon cut off any escape, Billaba told her Padawan to run, before finally being gunned down. Further pursued by Crosshair, Dume was barely able to escape with his life. Though physically unharmed, the psychological damage caused by watching his Jedi Master be gunned down by the men they fought alongside for so long cannot be understated. While Caleb Dume's survival of Order 66 is only shown briefly in the Bad Batch series premiere, the Kanan comic series, which is canon, expands upon the story. While Bilaba's clones have red armor rather than green, and Commander Gray receives Order 66 at nighttime around a fire, just as all seemed well between the two Jedi and their men, things still play out largely the same. With her last words, Master Billaba tells Dume to run before falling in the skirmish. It's what happens afterwards that's so interesting, as Commander Gray and another clone, Captain Styles, continue to pursue Caleb Dume. Eventually captured, the young Jedi begged for his life, reminding the clones how much they used to look up to Master Billaba and suggesting to them that it was Palpatine, not the Jedi, who had betrayed the Republic. Dume force-pushed the clones and escaped their ship, leaving Gray to begin having doubts about following Order 66. He brought his concern up with Styles, who disagreed, seeing the Jedi only as traitors. Gray decided to shoot their own ship's controls with his blaster rifle, crippling the freighter and ensuring their own deaths, while the boy was able to flee. Changing his name to Kanan Jarrus and hiding his force sensitivity, the former Caleb Dume kept his lightsaber locked away, disguising himself as a freighter pilot and bounty hunter, never staying in one place for a long time. Eventually, Kanan found purpose as a member of the Phoenix Cell in the early Rebel Alliance, and fell in love with Hera Syndulla. Many years after that fateful night on Collar, when he watched his master die, Kanan again encountered clone troopers, Captain Rex, Commander Wolf, and the Commando Gregor. He quickly drew his lightsaber, unaware that these three old-timers had removed the implanted inhibitor chips that forced them to comply with Order 66. Wolf even fired a few shots towards the Jedi, believing he'd come for revenge. Cooler heads prevailed, but a distrust remained between Kanan and the clones, with the Jedi even warning his Padawan Ezra Bridger that they could not be trusted. It took multiple missions for Kanan to accept Rex as an ally and valued member of the Phoenix Rebel Cell, but still, the scars inflicted by Order 66 remained for both of them. This next entry will probably surprise you, and it's for a completely different reason compared to the other 4 Jedi on our list. Mace Windu disliked the clone troopers because of their faces, which reminded him of their donor, the bounty hunter Jango Fett. The Legends novel Shatterpoint by Matthew Stover contains entries from the private journals of Mace Windu. There, he writes about nightmares he has about the day the Clone Wars began on Geonosis, with regrets about not killing Dooku before the conflict could even begin. Here's what Windu had to say. In my dreams, I'm on the arena balcony, Geonosis. Orange glare slices shadow from my eyes. Below on the sand, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, Senator Padme Amidala. On the rough-shaped stone within reach of my arm, Nuke Gunray. Within reach of my blade, Jango Fett, and Master Dooku. No, Master no more, Count Dooku. I may never get used to calling him that, even in dreams. Jango Fett bristles with weapons, an instinctive killer, the deadliest man in the galaxy. Jango can kill me in less than a second, I know it. Even if I had never seen Kenobi's report from Kamino, I can feel the violence. Jango radiates, in the Force, a pulsar of death. But I do it right. My blade doesn't light the underside of Fett's square jaw. I don't waste time with words. I don't hesitate. I believe. In my dreams, the purple flare of my blade sizzles the gray hairs of Dooku's beard, and in the critical semi-second it takes Jango Fett to aim and fire, I twitch that blade and take Dooku with me into death and save the galaxy from civil war. I could have done it. Mace goes on to detail how he felt what's known as a shatter point centered on Dooku in that moment. This extremely rare force ability allowed the revered Jedi Master to see where people or situations break, and in that moment, he saw a shatter point centered around Dooku. He could have killed the Sith Lord, ending the Clone Wars before they even began, but he made the Jedi choice and spared his former colleague. The novel goes on to detail two situations in which Windu sees the face of clone troopers and is reminded of his mistake, once when speaking with a clone officer, and the second time when he comes upon 4 dead, helmetless clones, only seeing Jango Fett's dead face staring back at him 4 times over. If anything, Windu did not have a hatred for the clones, but an internalized hatred of the mistake he felt that he made on Geonosis, which he was reminded of every time he looked a clone trooper in the eye. While Mace Windu may have surprised you, we all knew this next bastard was coming. Probably the most universally hated Jedi, Pong Krell was a 4-armed basilisk, the same species as Dexter Jetster from the diner in Attack of the Clones. Albeit Krell was a lot slimmer and probably a worse cook, Krell was an aggressive fighter and exceptionally skilled in close-quarters combat, making use of 2 double-bladed lightsabers, 1 blue and 1 green. Krell foresaw the end of both the Jedi Order and the Galactic Republic, and he sought to join the new order that was to come, having secretly turned to the dark side of the Force, wishing to become the new apprentice to Count Dooku. During the Battle of Umbara, Krell temporarily replaced Anakin Skywalker as the commanding officer of the 501st Legion. The Basilisk already had a reputation as having the highest clone casualty rate in the entire Grand Army of the Republic, but little did Captain Rex and the 501st know that was by design. Krell did not care about the clones, whom he regarded as little better than droids, and just as disposable. Krell was usually callous and arrogant by Jedi standards, and did not react well to constructive criticism, even drawing his lightsaber on ARC Trooper 5s when he questioned a command. Krell sought to undermine the Republic's efforts to occupy Umbara, forcing the 501st to utilize forward charge tactics with little cover, a strategy that was essentially suicide. More egregiously, Krell manipulated the 501st and 212th into fighting one another, telling each unit that the Umbarans were wearing stolen clone armor. After several clones were killed in the friendly fire skirmish, Captain Rex realized what was going on after watching fan-favorite clone Waxer die. The captain led his men in a mutiny, ultimately leading to Krell's capture and execution. At least he got what he deserved in the end. A maverick among the Jedi Order, Quinlan Vos typically worked solo behind enemy lines on very dangerous missions. He also succumbed to the dark side and became Dooku's apprentice, returned to the light, and fell in love. In Legends, Quinlan Vos has an unusually sour relationship with clone troopers, and he explains his distaste for them in issue 81 of Star Wars Republic. In a conversation with Luminara Unduli, Vos expresses his belief that the clones lack empathy and that he saw them as nothing more than living weapons. He also gets into a heated argument with Commander Bly, who's certainly a lot more hard-nosed in Legends than canon, resulting in the trooper aiming his blaster at Vos, calling him an enemy of the Republic. While Vos is mostly incorrect in his assessment of clone troopers, his outlook is seemingly proved right when Order 66 is issued. Vos had the unfortunate luck of being deployed on Kashyyyk with Clone Commander Faye, one of the most brutal troopers in the entire GAR. While Vos was able to flee into the dense Kashyyyk forest, Faye threatened to turn an entire Wookiee village to ash via orbital bombardment should the Jedi not reveal himself. Given no choice, Quinlan Vos did just that, eating a few blaster shots to the stomach, but managing to kill the clone trooper. I don't know what would be worse as a clone trooper, serving under a commander as harsh as Faye, or taking orders from a Jedi who hated your very existence.